Yeah, we're live now on this mock programming with Sam, myself, and Yana for local support. We are going to discuss pull requests and other work we want to discuss together.
Great stuff. Thanks, Raj. I was just going to pull up. Actually, this is the wrong thing, but I was just going to pull up the pull request. So we've got. Let's look GitHub. The pull request. So one of the things, if we were working in a more formal team, where we were, for example, we might be pairing together all day, every day, then we would, one of the things we might do at the beginning of the day would be reviewing all of the pull requests and having a look through them and sort of giving comments. I did just as a sort of simulation of that. We've had a pull. So Sam Overloop, who was in the hangout this morning, he's done a pull request here, and after a little bit of feedback from me, he's adjusted a few things. Yeah, so he's got this client side validations. He's kind of ended up, I think, doing two different. He was working on a ticket that's for client side validations of some of the organization properties, and then he kind of extended it to be the server side ones. And yeah, I think I need to have a more detailed look through this. I see that John, who's one of our US developers, has given some information there. I won't spend too long on this. Just to mention, though, it's the kind of thing, that I think it's good practice to get into. If you see another pull request, having a look through it and trying to work out what's going on, and not necessarily criticizing, but even just asking questions, or why did you prefer this over that thing, and so on, is the kind of sort of activity and behavior that companies are really going to expect you to be, getting involved in that way. But we won't look at that anymore now. But that might be a good place to start in terms of that being a relatively simpler operation there. Simpler pull request. But so Raj, you've got a great pull request in here now. John seems to be happy with that. I think we can probably go ahead and merge this in. This is I love pull requests that are like 3 files. I can sort of clearly see what it is from the project manager's point of view. This is beautiful. Yeah. No, I guess you didn't have any open questions. You're satisfied with you're feeling pretty positive about the pull request.
Yeah, just one small thing, because when I was running migrate, it was showing some of the deprecated things
Really?
about timestamp.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen, or what?
Yeah, I will just share it. I'll log from before. I think I can run.
And I'm just looking at the this Travis CI. Where's the migrations?
Oh, that doesn't show. I think.
But so that I think I found it. Actually, can you see my screen? This might be interesting actually, because notice this. It's not immediately obvious in the CI. I don't know if you've seen this before, Yana, but so you can see that bundle exec rake db migrate ran here, and actually it's got these little triangles here, so you can open it up and see the process.
Yeah.
So there's kind of and so I think is this the deprecation warning that you're referring to?
Yeah, that's correct. So you can set to null, null to false, and there are about 7-8 places where it is. If you want to put that as a chore again, and I can pick that up.
Yeah, so this is the kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a separate chore. I mean, and I guess that's related to, when we started this project, we were in Rails 3, I believe, and it then subsequently moved to Rails 4. And yeah, so this is the kind of And you can see it's in River Rails 5 and so on. And yeah, so that would definitely be a great thing to open as a chore for cleanup.
So I wasn't sure how one opens an issue or
Oh,
how it
okay.
starts.
Yeah, so potentially, well, so the interesting, yeah, we're working with Pivotal Tracker as we are. You can just come into the backlog
And
here,
add, yeah,
and you can click the plus and then
yeah,
switch this to be a chore and describe it, and then it's in
yeah.
there basically.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, and you can open those as issues directly on GitHub, but it kind of we're sort of, at least with this project setup, we're sort of focused on the Pivotal Tracker, so it's sort of, it makes more sense to open them there. I'd love to see Pivotal Tracker more closely integrated with GitHub, but that's another story. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Yeah, I have only this point on that pull request. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
And so, Jana, just because this is a simple one and it relates to the well, you've been working with the feature flags today yourself, have you?
Yes.
Yes. So the changes in this pull request sort of make sense to you?
I think so. Yeah, we did more or less similar thing, creating features and feature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my only question was we have these methods def up and def down, not def change.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's right or.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So, yeah, we were looking at that yesterday, weren't we, Raj?
Yeah.
Do you want to try and just have a quick explain to Jana the difference between change and up down?
Yeah. Okay. The change, normally you will have when you create a table or add a column or change, type of column. So you normally have a method called change, and that is when you migrate that is implemented. That data definition is implemented, and when you roll back by default, Rails thinks to revert whatever change you have got, just to take it away. But in addition, if you want to do something else other than doing a change, for example, here we are adding one record feature table. So, and if you want to put that in migration, there is no other way apart from putting it in seeds file probably. So to add a feature along with creating a table, you can use this up and down method, where up is when you do migrate, it will do everything within the up, and then down will be executed when the rollback is taking place. And that's what my understanding was, yeah, from this.
Okay.
Maybe Sam will.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty. Does that make sense to you, Jana?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I think
you can. Sorry. Another thing we learned: you can't have both things running together, because once you say change, instead of change, you can have up and down. So you cannot have change and then up and down and stuff like that.
Did you test that, Reggie? You tried running one that had change and up and down. What happened? Did it ignore the change thing?
No, I did not. No, I did not test. But in that Rails documentation,
the Rails documentation suggests that it should be one or the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says clearly, instead of that, if you want to do it this way, then you can do up and down.
I think it would be interesting. I would
be interested to test that. Really,
to experiment sometime, but it's certainly not a priority. Good explanation, Raj. The only thing I would add is that up and down was how the migrations worked originally. When I started working with Rails about 7 or 8 years ago, all migrations had up and down, and the introduction of this change method is a relatively recent thing. And as Raj is saying, when you're doing certain sorts of database operations with change, active record migration knows how to reverse them automatically, but exactly as Raj said, in some situations it doesn't know how to reverse them, and so you need to revert back to up and down. So I think I think we can go ahead and merge this in, get that in, and we'll get that moved out, and ultimately you'll get you guys, I don't know if you know, I wonder if we've got, there's a thing on the Parallel Community Network, which shows all the people who have contributed to the project. So if we click through on the Agile Ventures icon here, and so we can see, oh look, there we go. Look, Raj, you're already on there. There you go.
Okay.
And have we got there's Zivco, yeah, Zivco up there, climbing up the rankings. And have we got, it's going to be cross.
I think I'm not here because when I was with John Min, pull request, and mine, this one is a big one, so it's not there yet.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So we'll get you on here pretty soon then. But that's there you go. Great to see Raj is in there, and so this is everybody around the world who's contributed to the project. Good stuff. Yes. So more of that in there. So now the interesting thing here is having got that. Oh, go on, Raj. What's up?
Yeah, well, accidentally, when I did a pull request, I didn't notice that I was on, not on develop branch on Agile Venture local support. I sent a pull request on the other branch.
Oh yeah, which no problem. That was easily fixed. But so those are all the kind of little things, and of course, it's great. That's what I think you get out of doing this kind of experience with Agile Ventures and so on, is doing those lots of little things. And when you go and work in a company, I mean, every company is going to have its own slightly different ways of doing things. But it's just sort of getting used to adapting to those things is a valuable way to go. So now what I'll just mention, because this came up, I think Jan is already very familiar with this, and you're certainly getting pretty strong with it now, Raj, is that. So the interesting thing, for those few merges that we've done, it's then very important for everyone to. Let me just stash these things. It's a bit small. I'm going to now check out the develop branch, and I'm going to do git pull origin develop. Now for you guys, with those things having gone in, both of you should now do git pull upstream develop on your computers to make sure that you have the latest things, and then one can run those things, run the tests locally for sanity check and so on. So the interesting thing that we have here is this process of parallel development, where Jana, you've got this kind of long running thing going on, and that's exactly as it should be. But of course, what the whole Git flow is supposed to enable is other people doing little bits and pieces of work, and for you to kind of incorporate those as you go along, so that there's not a big conflict when you get to the end. But basically, Raj, you're now this is pulled in. You're going to make that other chore. That's another little thing. If you want to. So you're basically happy now, I guess, in terms of you're not blocked by anything.
No, so I think I won't be able to spend any time tomorrow and day after, but on Friday I'll spend time on create this. I'll probably create this chore today and then pick it up on Friday and probably finish it on Friday.
Yeah, sure. That sounds absolutely fine. Yeah, good show. All right, shall we have a look at Jana? Did you want to? Should we go through your things then?
Yes, sure. It's in pull request, so we can maybe.
Okay.
Or I can share screen, so whatever is.
Yeah, well, definitely share the screen and talk us through it. I'll pull it out, so I've got your code locally as well, so we can both investigate the thing in real time. Yeah.
Sure. Share. So yeah. What we did today with Zivco. So first of all, we created feature flag in our volunteer opportunities controller. So here it is, this one. We did feature do it volunteer opportunities. And now you can turn it on and off, and all tests pass with it off and with it on. So all tests they pass.
Excellent.
This part, when we assess markers, is a bit messy. So it needs to refactoring and maybe rethinking how to make it best. But basically, the thing is that hero markers can be empty theoretically if there is nothing in our database. Markers might be empty theoretically, especially if the feature is off. but they both can be not empty. So there are kind of 3 ways how we assess markers, depending on situation. So, but anyway, we did this feature, and we also did migration for this feature. Yeah, which is this one. So it was fairly not so difficult.
It's good to have easy things sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very good, yeah. So in views, we also use this feature here for a list on the right, for a list of opportunities on the right. So in 2 places in our code, we use this feature. We check if it's active or not active.
Okay, yeah.
So the next thing I was doing is doing tests, finally. So we started with Živko last week doing tests, and we kind of had this problem with studying. But our, just to remember all the questions. First question when we started was what do we test in spec? Because in feature it's more or less clear what to test, more or less. But in spec, I'm just not sure what to test there. Do we even need specs with regard to this part of code? I'm not sure. It's just question.
Sure.
So back to what I did today is I did, there's a separate file, do it volunteer opportunities for tests on do it. Decided to separate it to make it easier. So the first test, it just checks that volunteer opportunities are on map. Oh yeah, what I also did is on a web mock here, I subbed a real answer from server, so from do it API. So it's very close to what VCR would do. And we discussed that this one should go to a separate file. Yeah, we'll do file refactoring. So now it gets the real response. But by default, the feature is off. So for all tests, it's off. So it doesn't touch this part of the code, as I understand it. And for do it volunteer for this test, we start with enabling this feature. And then go to volunteer opportunities page, and then I'm not sure how to make it better, but for now it's just we should see 16 markers, which is not absolutely true because visually we see 4 markers, but we know that 16 markers.
Yeah. This is the issue with them being in the same location and things like that. Yeah.
Yes, it's actually, yes, it's basically when volunteer opportunities belong to the same organization, then they're on the same marker, because now we put markers on opportunities, not on organization. So for this, I also added a step here, very simple one again, just to check how many markers we see on page. So first one, it checks just do it markers. For example, when there is nothing in our database, so hero markers are kind of empty string, not empty string, but empty array in a string. And second test, it tests both do it and hero opportunities. So when we have like 2 opportunities in that place, and also we have this do it stub, then they should be 18 markers on map. So, and it passes, so we can check it, and we see that they're kind of, for now, I cannot separate do it markers from hero markers because they're built exactly
the same, yeah.
Except for the icon. Icon is different, so I may try to use it to separate them. In the third test, it's also very simple. It's just testing that on the right part of the page there is this list of volunteer opportunities, and that the do it opportunity is there, and I just took the first one, so I can take all 16, but I don't know if there's a need to do all 16.
Yeah, I mean, probably not in a, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, so I started working with tests, and but now I'm not sure in what direction to proceed and what tests should be in place.
Right, right.
So that's basically what I did today.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, good show. Well, I think that's great. That's great progress. I've been making a little list here of the different, the issues as they came up, and we can kind of, if I can scroll. What's happened to that? Come on, come back. There we go. List of these. Oh, go on. Don't be like that. Here we go. That's a list of those things. What is going on? There we go. I was just about to go and look for something. Oh, right. I was on the issue of the tests. I was just going to go and look at. I've got your branch of code out here, and all of the tests have run locally for me. And I see that you've pulled in the you've synced to upstream, and so you've got the little thing that I did, which has cleaned out the RSpec, is there, and that's good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I was just going to look at I want the features, don't I?
Look. And one more, sorry to.
Oh, no, go on. Go on.
Another thing is that thing I mentioned, the coverage.
Oh yeah, the coverage issue.
Yeah.
Yes. That is an odd thing, isn't it? So let's see. And I just wanted to have a look at what the tests that we have. It's the map. Show. I'm just the immediate thing I'm wondering is, do we have an existing feature test that checks the pop-ups?
Yes, we have. In Hero Do It, we have this test that checks the pop-ups. It's in map volunteer opportunities or show volunteer opportunities. If not in map, then definitely in show.
Yes. Oh, here we go. So we've got here the see the URLs in bold. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So they're kind of checking that they're hyperlinked.
Or no, it's a separate page for volunteer opportunity.
Yeah, a separate page for volunteer opportunity.
I definitely saw a pop-up. So.
Oh, we could just have a look for the word pop-up in.
Is it list? See a list now.
Here we go.
Map. Then it's maybe.
I think I found it. It's in map volunteer opportunities.
In map pop-ups.
Volunteer opportunities are listed in map pop-ups. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And just have a look at what that was.
So with this one, with pop-ups, the problem I have is I don't want to test what we have now, because what we have now is kind of not correct. We have one opportunity in the situation when there are several opportunities connected with one organization. We don't have this list of opportunities.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's why I thought, should I write a test for this? Because if I write a good test, it will fail. If I write a wrong test, then what's the point?
Sure, absolutely. Let's just see. So I think now, interesting. So I've run I thought I'd run the migrations. I was just going to see if I had. I would have thought here, as a result of running the migration, I should have your new feature in my database, but I don't seem to. See, I ran. It prompted me to run rake db migrate.
Yes.
Before, but it seems to have run again. Let's see.
Here it is. The one is add volunteer opportunities.
Here we go. So then, feature finds 8, activate. That's really. Oh, it's the first. No. That's very strange. If I just do find, does it activate like that? No. What's going on? First, add. It hasn't found. No. Okay. That found that. It's found a feature. It's a single feature. Oh, does it activate?
I think it's find by then.
Well, it's. I would have thought that.
Still, it will work. Yeah.
That find by that. I mean the. What have we called these things? Have we called them name? That's
name colon.
There we go. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's It's saying undefined method activate. Am I spelling it wrong? What am I doing there? Oh, feature. Let's go look at the feature model. Feature model. Feature. Active. Okay. It should be. Oh, I think it's feature activate, and then you have to pass it the feature. That seems feature. That seems strange. Hmm?
And then pass maybe just the name of the feature as a symbol or.
Yeah, because it's doing find by name. So we just do okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh goodness. Okay, and I think I'm actually already running. Let's just knock that down on the head. Oh, I've done the wrong thing. Oh dear, sorry. I have had some coffee, and I should be performing. Okay. Yeah, I was just going to bring up your system here, running locally for me. And now let's go back to our list of things. So there's coverage. Yeah, so now we're in volunteers, and here. So, okay. And so we've got that. Oh, great. So this is, I think, also you've added it so that now, if I click through on that, that will take us to the actual do it thing. That's great. And then we have, is it further? Yeah. So we have the do it opportunities down here, and this one. Okay. So, but these ones, I think we do have a.
The upper one sends to opportunity. The lower one is the name of organization, and it doesn't send you anywhere yet.
No, right. And so, but in principle, if that information is in the incoming request, then we can, in principle, link that in.
Yeah.
Now, I just because I'm thinking, because your web mock, which is going to be in the support section of here, that's got this thing here.
Yeah.
And so.
I'm not 100% sure that there is this information about organization link, how they find how they form a link on their web page to organization.
Yes, and I guess because it's got like there a description of, for example, Age UK. Yeah, but no, good question about. Well, I guess anyway, we can look at that separately. I mean, they may even have the website for the. Anyway, I shouldn't spend too much time on that. Sorry. Yes. Okay, but that's we can see where it's up to. Yeah, and so there's kind of a. I'm just bringing this in. So there's kind of an issue here of handling. This is Volox in same location, and then there's additional issue of handling Volox in same organization.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I see that the main problem is that there are many opportunities in the same organization. There are not so many situations when organizations are on the same address.
Okay.
So mostly it happens that now the way we extract information, we extract opportunities because that's how do it API structure.
Mm-hmm.
Place on map not organizations but opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why they are one on another.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so it would seem that I mean, for both of these, there's room for some pre-processing that would restructure things in a format that would allow us to support the way we want to display it.
Yes, exactly right. Yes.
So that's. I mean, there's, and just off the cuff, immediately what it makes me think is if we're getting if the data that's coming in, and I just do that here, and we're getting Volop 1, and then we're getting like a few that's coming in 2 and 3 and 4, and then these are associated with org 1, and then this one is org 1, and that's org 2, and that's org 3. Then, given that this chunk of data has come in, then the thing that we would need to do is sort of pre-process that and restructure it. So we'd say, right, we've got this org and this org and this org, and then restructure the data in this way. The interesting question is there a way to query the 8 so that would give us volop 1 and volop 2, and then volop 3 and volop 4? Does that make sense? There,
that's exactly what I really want to do at some point, but
sure. Yeah. Well, and maybe that's the thing that we need to do. The interesting question to ask is there a way to query the before one spends time doing that? Not that they wouldn't be just fun to do it, but the interesting question to ask is, is there some way to query the API to have data returned, by organization? And that's something that they may or they may not have, but it's worth spending a moment, I think, looking at the docs to see that. And if it doesn't mention it, even just sort of playing with the interface, and then actually we can send them a request and say, I don't think this is for me, this is the kind of the really the high level thing is that this is something that we definitely might work on. My temptation would be to have a checkout to see if we can get it returned by the org. If spend 5-10 minutes on that. If I find that there isn't, I would get off a request to the people to say, can we do it this way? And I would work on some of the other things before starting on this one to give them time to get back to me. And I think organizing one's work like that, so that you can sort of parallelize it and have distribute your process over the different people, is an exciting way of getting lots of things done. But so yeah, I think that's how we would want to approach those things. But let's have a look at some of the other issues. I mean, the interesting thing about refactoring the controller is that if we're going to be doing something like this, then that has an impact on that. I mean, I think this is definitely something we want to move towards. In terms of what to test, I would say that I would love to be moving towards this service model where we're kind of extracting this like a do-it volunteer service. And then we would write unit tests for that. Is the way to go. I mean, the webmock thing, turning that into a file, that's a relatively trivial thing. What I would say is I think we're kind of on the cusp of getting this whole Puffing Billy VCR thing sorted. And once that comes in, then basically we can throw away the webmock and we just use VCR. And I think, I mean, if we're unlucky, there'll be some horrible conflict with what we're doing with Do It and so on. If we're lucky, it will all just work and it will make things a lot simpler. I think already in the process of me doing some refactoring today, I've seen how the switch away from webmock and to VCR is actually going to be a big improvement for us. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the test, detecting the different icon, yeah, that's a nice step. I mean, I think for me the tests that you've done so far are perfectly reasonable. I mean, with the acceptance tests, I mean, if you don't need to have such wonderful coverage. I mean, I think to the extent that you're doing these sorts of things that are covered by our other acceptance tests, then that's fine. It's I'm not too worried about that. I mean, yeah, in terms of what direction we should take the tests, I probably need to if I review carefully your acceptance tests, I might have a few more ideas. Nothing is immediately springing to mind, but yeah, this kind of trying to refactor the controller to pull out the service and then have tests for that is probably the key thing going forward, I would say. Yeah, but so and I think that's something that you can, even if you're not pulling out the service, you can be pulling out the separate So as we talked about the other day in the volunteer ops controller, yeah, you can be pulling out the separate methods and then in principle be testing them. Although sensibly, in some ways, with private methods, we shouldn't be testing private methods. We should be pulling these things out into separate. I mean, I'm a bit suspicious of the whole build map markers. There's still, the one outstanding failure that we have in if we go into if we just run the RSpecs with them like so, there's one outstanding bit of craft in here, which is this Google API over limit, and that's because we're doing that's unrelated to the volunteer ops, but we're using build map markers is being tested, and it's a private method. It shouldn't be being tested, and it's not stubbed properly. It's actually hitting the Google geocoding API. So I've created a new chore for that. I really want to get that fixed. And then this is in the unit tests. This is not a situation where we should be using VCR. What we should be doing is maybe introducing a dependency injection or something so that we can properly stub the object that we're talking to and test, just the single item. So I think all of this all needs to come into a service, but that's potentially quite just because there's a lot of different bits of code, potentially quite an involved refactoring. Certainly something that I'd be quite interested. I mean, if we haven't got other pair partners, you and I later in the week, Jana, if you've got time, we could actually sit down and pair on it together. Would be something that would be interesting to do. But I would say maybe right now, the coverage thing is the one that's worrying me the most. Do you want to share your screen? You want to show me? Is that?
I think it's on pull request.
It's on a pull request. Yeah. Okay.
So it's best.
Yeah. And I guess so. Here also the pull request, right? And it's failed because it's talking about coverage decreased. So this is the thing that we were looking at before. So it's got this slew of unrelated files that it's going to. Okay. So at least this time, last time we were looking at it, do you remember? It was like
not on GitHub or something.
Yeah, we're saying it was not on GitHub, which is very strange. Now this is interesting. It's interesting here. This is kind of, we've got this Boolean thing here.
I even don't know what it is and
No. Well, this is we've got something here. It's like Boolean from, and it's like trying to convert all sorts of things and make sure that they're Booleans. And the implication is that this one is being called, but the other ones are not. But that is very strange. Let's have a little look at. So we've got the Boolean one there. We've got, this one there. It's all the same.
They're all fairly strange. No, they're all fairly strange. I entered several, and red lines are like and. Yeah, like in this file. So what?
Yeah, that's definitely very strange. And of course, what we should be doing there, we don't need that anymore. What we should be doing here is having a little look at the details in the continuous integration to see. Raj, I hope you've got the recording locked on my screen. You probably have, but just thought I'd mention that. Let's go and have a little look here and see if we can find what it says. So it says the command rate test with coveralls exited with 0, and I presume you've run this locally. And what coverage is it giving you locally, Jana?
Locally, what I see in coverage last time, it was also weird. I don't know why it was. Now last time run 13%.
13%.
Yeah, 13.08.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll just do. There's a command you can do from the command line, which is coveralls report, which I'm just running, which we'll see what it says there in terms of coverage. Yes, or at least this time, it seems to be. We're not immediately seeing any kind of error there. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's go over. We don't need that one. It's got like a job. That's just a link to the thing. It's got, what's the source changed? Coverage changed. Source changed. Yes, that's very strange. Obviously, it hasn't been affecting the other things. Let's see what I've got locally. It's still busy doing it. I'm so looking forward to getting rid of all of this mess. It was so clear. I was running the Cucumber this morning, and it was all clean. This was on Zamago's branch where we've got the Puffing Billy working, and I'm like, yes, yeah. And the tests run so much faster as well because it's not going out to the network. It's a huge improvement. I'm really looking forward to everybody having it. I think we're close. Well, famous last words. You always, have the one couple of bugs. You think, oh yes, it'll be an easy one, and then actually, anyway. So come back here. Yes. I can't. And so this has got like a particular that operation. That's still going away. Yeah, I mean that really does not make any sense at all. I mean the only things I can think of is that is there somehow something that has changed that has somehow caused some test not to run that was running before that is actually running. Oh, and that coveralls report, it hasn't, even having run it, it's supposed to say at the end what the number of them is, and it hasn't even told me locally. I guess the thing that I saw you doing is you were looking in you were looking in the coverage folder.
Yeah.
Looking in, is it the result set or something?
Last run, and yeah.
Yeah.
So this one I have 13 now. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's very strange. Well, I mean, I think the approach that I would be tempted to take here is to be looking at, and one thing I can do here is I can do locally. I can compare it with the develop branch, and so I can kind of step through here. So different things. So we've got the changes here that we've introduced this new code, but that's being hit. We've got that code. We've got that code, and I can kind of step through the different changes we've got. In addition to map marker JSON, there we've got what's this gone thing, by the way?
We can this one delete because it's the one that takes that simplifies sending information from server to JavaScript files. But we don't need it because we use a normal Rails way of sending variables through.
Okay. Yeah. And step through things here. So we've just got some views there. We've got our new thing. I mean, very minor comment there on this is that at the moment it's very difficult to see that this is there. Even a simple thing like making the this be, rather than just strong, making it like a full width, giving it like a gray background or something would just make, even at the moment if you scroll up and down, it's easy to miss it, even if it's there to look for it. So that's related to these are merges related to Raj's pull request coming in. This is your new migration there. I don't know why I had to run that twice. Maybe that was to get it on test. No, not sure. So then we've got here, what is this? The schema. Interesting, the schema suddenly is enabling a much larger number of extensions.
Oh, this one I don't know.
No, that's interesting. I wonder if that's because you've got a more. What version of Postgre are you using locally?
Of what? Sorry.
Of Postgre, the database.
I'm not sure. Okay. Is it? They say version. Okay,
so I've got SQL
9.4.5.
And then there's, how do we get the version of let's see, find Postgre. So there's the version of the client, and then there's the version of the so the version of the actual server. Is there a way to check the thing to do? That's for that client. For the server version, for the client version. So select version. There we go.
Select version.
And yeah, well, I'm on 9.3.5. So you're on 9.4.5.
Yes.
Yeah. Just yeah. Brad, what version of PostgreSQL are you on?
Mine is 9.4.5 PSQL version on.
Yeah. Maybe I should upgrade. Anyway, so we've got. Yeah, there's a couple of things that are different between your two pull requests. We've got a new step there. That's the additional data in the web mock. This thing, and this is web mock. It's specifically stubbing the get to that thing. And then we have a new feature, which should increase coverage. We have, yes. So I mean, I guess in the volunteer ops controller, we've got this stub happening each time. A few more changes there. We've got the gems. We don't need the gone gem anymore. Change there. Yeah. So I'm not. So that was just a cursory swipe. I'm not seeing something in there that tells me, oh, that I can immediately connect with. What's it called? The coverage thing. But so what that indicates to me now, what would, if I was, I'm going to go out and have supper with the family now, but what I would be tempted to do to kind of do this is, now that we know that we can get it working and we have the tests, I might almost be tempted to start on a fresh branch, like, you know, like we've got develop locally, make sure that the test coverage is what you think it should be there, and then branch off and just add in the tests. And so this would be great, like, to see them fail, to see the acceptance test fail, because it's an important sanity check. And, you know, basically at each stage of the way, as you take over, like the test and then individual things, keep checking the coverage and see if at some point when you make some change, if it suddenly drops. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be, you know, we've kind of basically been working on a big spike to demonstrate to ourselves that this can all be done. And now we know it can be done, and we can test it, and we've learned a lot through the process. But so, you know, it's kind of, with spikes, it's good practice to sort of put them aside and then rebuild in a kind of, at least in this instance, to do the acceptance test driven version. I mean, don't worry too much about refactoring these things, because we're trying to hunt down this one issue, and I think it would be good to focus on this one issue before we get into this refactoring.
Okay, so what I will do, I will create a new branch called something like Do It Volunteer Opportunities, and we'll start with adding these tests and then adding code.
Yes, and what you could do is you could follow the scheme that we're using now, which is you could prefix the branch with the ID number of the actual story.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And then that, you give it the, you know, the appropriate name, and then because we're in this thing of, I don't know if you followed, but we're kind of linking it up so that when people when the pull requests are merged, it automatically closes the stories on the tracker for consistency. So yeah, that'd be great. Sorry, I interrupted. Go on. Yeah.
No, okay, I'll do that. So yeah, we'll name this branch as required, and then we'll start with test by test, and we'll add code for these tests.
Yeah, and excellent. And feel free to have an open pull request, and, you know, keep pushing up little things on that to check what coveralls is doing on that thing. Obviously, there's a difference between what the coverage it says locally and what it says on the server. So yeah, cool.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I might just I mean, guess I'll just pop that into here, and yeah, I guess since I have what I'll do is but actually, do you have to hand a link which returns some results from the Do It API? Just
one. What do you mean?
I mean, so there's like the API. We can just go to like API Do It opportunities. Like, do you have a URL that will?
Yeah, this link is in our volunteer opportunities controller.
Right, but do you have that will allow me to reassemble it? But do you have like a ready to, like? Let's have a look. Oh, okay. No, it's only 2 pieces. Okay, yeah. No,
yeah, it's just 2 pieces. So
yeah, I'll just grab.
You iterate through pages, because from this piece you will get 20 opportunities maximum, and then you need to send another request to get 20 more. But for a start, yeah, this one should work.
Yeah. Okay. And it's just what have I spelt wrong? That's interesting. HTTPS API do -it.org. V1 opportunities ? Huh.
I don't know why I have the same thing. And is it XML? I have the same thing, but if I printed out the response from the code, it shows me the result. So, but I don't know why it doesn't show me.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was doing it. I definitely doing. I mean that. Well, I guess that the independently of that one, we can go back to this one, which works. The fact that the nature of the query is I guess the interesting thing here is these are these are like not from the correct location, but this is
yeah.
It's got these, so that it's interesting that the owner recruiter. I mean, it's the kind of thing like to get the. It's got like the logo. It's got like, it's interesting. So the owner recruiter, it's got like Volunteers Centre Surrey. I guess it may be possible. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted now by the fact that we can possibly go to, like, if you've got the, you can probably construct the URL. I think you can. Do you see what I just did?
Yeah, I understand. So you found how they build the organization link.
Yeah. So the organization link can be built by taking the owner recruiter slug and appending it onto the this. So,
yeah, this we can do. But the thing is, I don't know. Maybe if you could ask the people, is it possible to extract information by organization?
Yes, indeed. Well, that's what I will do right now. Is I'll send them an email and I'll CC. If you maybe I can CC you. They're a bit slow in turning things around, but yeah, I think it's worth doing to see if they come back to us. I mean, I'm also kind of waiting for Jean-Pierre was going to. He was supposed to be JPB. Any progress on documenting our cores did not work on do it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll send that email there, and yeah, that's yeah. There we go. I guess we're done. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for hanging out. Any questions from you, Raj? It's obviously a bit much bigger thing that's.
Yeah, no question from me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was quite a good insight on how things are being done. Yeah.
Great. Well, guys, yeah, feel free to hang out and chat. Just because I go doesn't mean the party has to end. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you. You know, over the next few days. Good luck with the tech tests tomorrow, Raj, and yeah, maybe see you tomorrow, Yana.
Yeah, thanks for all contributions.
I'll probably be back on Thursday. I have some things to do tomorrow, but I will have time to code, but not sure I will be on stand-ups. But Thursday I'll be back on stand-ups.
No problem. Yeah, I'll wait. Actually, Wednesday morning I'm going to miss tomorrow's, or at least move tomorrow's AM one because I've got a meeting with my son's teacher. But yeah, cool. We'll catch up.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.